Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 102 of our Enigmatica 6 Let's Play series. Where today I am going to be continuing working with our setup for our fission reactor. And I wanted to get the fluorite that we have, these chunks of fluorite sitting here, processed. But in order to do so, I need another exporter because this guy has no room. I should have set him up as a advanced exporter, but I don't want to break it for now because I don't have any of these chunks of stuff, and then I'd have to reset this back up and yada yada yada. So let's just get a regular exporter here and set it up here. And if we just put a cable here, we should now be able to have even more items, just exporting from two different sides of the machine. So let's get our chunks of fluorite. Yes. And set those up in here. And then those should now be going into there. But what's going to happen is they're going to get stuck because I don't have fluorite set up as an export allowed on our enriching factory. So we just need to put fluorite there. Bam. And now all that fluorite will get imported into the system. Bam. Easy peasy. You do have like easnium or iron. Yeah. I just want to see all those other chunks that we have, like nether quartz chunks. Why don't I have those being processed? Where do those go? I'm going to assume in the enrichment chamber. Yeah, let's get the nether quartz chunks going. Potassium nitrate. What are you used for even? Hey. Potassium nitrate can make gunpowder mixed with sulfur, but like, I guess it can make phytogrow. I mean, I guess there's nothing really. Sure, let's process it. I mean, it doesn't hurt. What about cinnabar? What are you used for, buddy? Cinnabar. Like, you just get turned into dust. You get to go, yeah, you're a modifier. You're a catalyst for our machine. Okay. So let's put nether quartz and potassium nitrate into here. Let's get quartz. Do I have any potassium? Yeah, there we go. So then I can just set this up properly. That's you and you. And all of you can go away. And now, yeah, okay. So all of that is processing and we're good to go. Cool. Coal, mana. And all of that is coming from our little Jinn that we have, our Jinny set up. How is he doing, by the way? Let's go back down here and check up on this guy real quick. How you doing, buddy? Oh, you are doing fantastic. You have barely used any of your durability. What, about 1200 durability? And you're just chugging along. Pretty sweet. Okay, back to what we were doing. I did not, as I said, I was going to last episode, get the Quantum Entangelo porter set up because I got distracted. So let's go ahead and set this up. Now, we could set it up in the front here, but that does not look nice. So let's go ahead and set it up here. And we are going to set the gases to be an input there. And nothing else, man. Nothing else. Disable everything. Because I like to be safe. Oh, you can use these to transfer heat. Okay, so gases is an input on the left. We're going to set this to fissile fuel gas. It doesn't turn into a liquid, but it's on fissile fuel gas mode. And this guy is going to be set to gases output to the right. Nothing else. Bam, and energy is good. Okay, and that's it. So fissile fuel is going to build up in here. It's got a buffer of 512. I forgot. I just turned off gases input. There we go. So yeah, anyway, so this stuff's all going to run. Eventually it'll back stuff as we, get through. Our biggest like bottleneck right now is apparently this yellow cake uranium just not being able to be made fast enough in the enrichment chamber. So that's the only thing I'm going to really be concerned about is this. Yellow cake uranium. Now, why are you so slow? Is it because of your crafter? Like, what if I put 4 speed upgrades into this crafter? Or is it because it's only requesting 1 at a time? And if that's the case, I think that might be the case too. What we need to do is get stack and 3 speeds onto this guy down here. If I get a stack upgrade, that means it should request a stack at a time. Is that theory correct? And then we can get the speed upgrades. Yes, look, there we go. Yeah, now it's requesting a stack at a time, so we're keeping up. Okay, cool. All right, so that is everything that we need to get this started. We have fissile fuel. For some reason, I don't know why this energy bounces. A lot of these machines do that. Like, look at that. The energy bounces, comes back up. We're not bottlenecked on energy. Like, we have plenty of energy. If we go to our cube here, he's still full. We're using about 76,000, but we have an input of 135. So we still have a net gain of power. So I'm not too sure why that's doing that bouncy thing on power, but it works. So anyway, our next step is to actually build our reactors. Yes, fun stuff. Except actually, we have one more process we have to do, and I just realized this. So if we look at mechanism reactors, reactor casings, okay, that just requires lead, the ports, the logic adapter, reactor glass is good. That's fusion. Yeah, we're doing fission. What about the turbine? Turbine casings, valves. I swear there was something that required HDPE, but I guess not. Oh, you know what? When we go to process polonium, we process our nuclear waste into polonium. This requires HDPE sheets. That's what it is. This is definitely something we're going to want to do at some point, because, well, we're going to need to, which is going to require an enrichment chamber of HDPE pellets, or isn't it a standard craft? Oh, I thought it was a craft of like a bunch of them. But the pellets come from oxygen, and this is the liquid ethylene line that a lot of people start out with initially for their power, but it was nerfed in Enigmatica 6 for ethylene power based off of biofuel. So you mix water and I believe it's water. Yeah, water, hydrogen, and a biofuel, and you'll get substrates and ethylene. It's a fairly simple process. We'll probably have to dive into that at some point, but let's get started with our fission reactor and go from there. So let's teach the system how to make all this stuff. So what we're going to need is fission reactor casings. We're going to need a fission reactor port. We're going to need a logic adapter. What do you do? Oh, yeah, we're probably going to want that. We need to shut off our reactor. And we're going to need, let's do this, at mechanism. We're going to need fuel assemblies. Do you know how to make those? I don't think you do, so let's go ahead and do that. What else is needed for this? We do have a copy and paste, by the way. Fission reactor, casings, fuel rod assemblies. We're going to need turbines. Eventually, maybe get into a boiler, possibly, probably not in this series. Okay, so then we're going to need turbines. We're going to need to make sure we do mechanism turbines, not pneumaticraft. But we're going to need turbine vents, yes. We're going to need turbine valves, casings, rotors, blades. Isn't there like, there are other items that we need for the turbine. At mechanism. Let's find the turbine section here. Turbine valve. Yeah, we're going to need electromagnetic coils. We're going to need rotational complexes. We're going to need saturating condensers. There's a lot of stuff. I have reactor glass, right? Didn't I get reactor glass? I guess not. Reactor glass. Because we want to be able to see into our reactor, don't we? And I thought there was structure glass. Reactor glass, structural glass. Yeah. And that's used to see into the turbine. Okay, so all of these, that is a lot of crafts, is what we're going to need for our reactor. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the building gadget pattern folder, and we're going to grab a basic fission reactor copy, and we're going to get our copy and paste template manager. Yes. And our copy paste gadget. Let's go out to our reactor area. Don't need to be here because we have access to everything. Sun is rising, so that's good. Let's go ahead and set this up here. Put this guy here and paste into it. And let's see what this is going to look like, okay? So, fission reactor. Where do we teleport in from? Doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and set this up like, oh, let's say here. Anchor it there. Okay. So, this is our basic fission reactor schematic provided to us by the Enigmatica 6 team. It looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high. 5 by 8. Yeah, fission reactor. And it looks nice. Ideally, we would rotate it if we could. But it's not like that big of a deal. I don't think you can rotate. Can you? Is that a rotate? Yeah, so like that's going to be the face. We're going to put our turbine like over here. There's a redstone logic, water input, something like that. Yeah, anyway. So that's everything that we need. So what we're going to need is all of this stuff. So let me go ahead and screenshot that and then open that screenshot up. Bear with me a moment. Where's that screenshot? Okay, so then that way we know what we need to kick all this stuff off. Okay, so control rod assemblies. That's the one thing I didn't teach the system because I looked for fission, not everything that we need. All right, well, that's okay. There's even more. Control rod assembly, cool. So we need to teach the system how to make this. It helps if we have patterns. Load, thank you. Okay, so control rod assemblies, we're gonna need 5 of these. We're gonna need fuel assemblies. We're gonna need 30 of these. Fission reactor casings. We're gonna need 69. Nice. Sorry. We're gonna need 69 of those. Fission reactor logic adapters. We're gonna need 2 of those for some reason. I guess yes. We're gonna have one that outputs a signal and then one that turns the machine off. Okay. Reactor port. We're going to need a total of 4 of those. And then reactor glass, we're going to need 87 total. And that's everything that we're going to need. So let's see where we're at on all this stuff. Everything, let's see, control rod assemblies still cooking. Everything's cooking. All right. I wonder. What is going on here? And why is steel taking forever? I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this speed upgrade is 64 requested. Oh my goodness. No, cancel that. Let's go to our mechanism. I don't know why this thing is getting gummed up lately. Enriched iron into steel dust. Yeah, do something with the steel dust, buddy. You're making enriched iron, right? Yes. And then the steel dust is supposed to get smelted. Correct? Am I correct in that assessment? Is that what happens with steel dust? I honestly don't remember. That would make sense, though. Steel dust gets smelted. Yes. Why is nothing going into the smelting factory? That's my question. Because I have a smelting factory over here. Steel dust goes into here. So just why aren't you pulling out of there then? What are you? You are infusing factory number something. Yeah, you're just supposed to extract. Are you not fast enough? Do you need to be upgraded to an advanced connector? You are an advanced connector. Wow. Wow. Output on the bottom. Oh, apparently it is pulling. It's just not pulling that fast. There it goes. Whoa, man, that is just a slow process. Infusing, or no, factory upgrades at mech tier installer. So those are all basic. Do I have these? Like, yeah, I do. Let's kick off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. Yeah, let's upgrade these machines. Honestly, it was just bottlenecked by how fast this thing was able to pull. Are you guys all set to like the slowest extract? No. Extract literally as fast as you can. What? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Extract everything as absolutely fast as you can. Every 5 ticks, do a process. You are just kicking on and off as we drop below our flint. Okay. Let's get those tier upgrades installed real quick. Just go faster, guys. Okay. Like, stop slowing me down. You're bringing me down, man. You're bringing me down. Okay. Let's see where we're at with all of our crafts. Okay. Fission reactor casing. We did get all of those. Okay. So let's just pull all of this stuff. Control rod, reactor casings, glass. I think that was everything, right? So we have our control rod assemblies, we have our fuel assemblies. Get all this stuff out of here. We have our reactor casings. Correct. We have our logic adapters. Yep. We have our ports. Yep. And we have our glass. Cool. All right, let's go and build this bad boy. Reactor. Right there. I think that looks good. Right click it in. Now there is certain things that it cannot place, and I don't remember what those are. Because it is not a valid structure. What can't you place? Oh wait, did that place? Do I have that? I do have that. There we go. I'm like, that was weird. There we go. And now it's a valid structure. Oh, so it can place everything. And there we go. Look, we got a fission reactor. Let's switch it over to Kelvin. Yeah. With a burn rate available to us of 30 millibuckets a tick. So the way that this works is we have to pump in water, which is our coolant, and we need to pump in fuel, which is our fissile fuel. And what it's going to do is create steam, which is our heated coolant, because it's going to turn the water into steam. And it's going to generate waste, which is the nuclear waste that we're going to use to produce antimatter and polonium and all of that stuff. So what we need to do is get water and our fissile fuel pumped into this, and then we need to build up a turbine, which this guy's going to be in the way. So let's just put this like back here. Reactor. Yeah, so let's take a look. This is a fission reactor port. This is a reactor port. If we get our morphing tool, you are changed to output waste, output coolant, input only, output waste, output coolant, input only. Okay, so you are outputting coolant and you are input. You are output waste, output coolant. So what I want is you to be output coolant and you're going to be input. So this is going to output steam, and we're going to have steam input right back into this because it creates a closed loop. And then what I want to do actually is move this one. I see how they set this up. I did this backwards is what happened. Yeah, I did this backwards. Because I see how they have it set up, because the output for the turbine is on the top. So this is the output coolant. This is the input of the coolant. And then this is going to be the input water, output waste. Okay. We need to take a nap. I get it. So I did this backwards. But I like the redstone to be in the back, and I don't have to, worry about it. Though they have their own, I mean, I guess they have a setup for the redstone using this dropper and everything. So I wonder how they do this, or this detector. Excellent entry on circuit breakers, but I can't click that. Son of a gun. And then next is our turbine. Yeah, so we have a gravel, and it gave us an observer and a piston and a piece of redstone dust somehow to create a on-off system here. I'll have to look that up and see. We're not going to be turning this on this episode. We need to build our fission reactor, and then we're going to have to end up building our turbine. And the next episode is nuclear ignition. But anyway, so what we need to do is set this up to be an input, and you are going to be our output of waste. So we need a sink. Let's get a kitchen sink. And the thing with the sink is, if you did not know this, you can output water from all sides of a sink. So if for some reason you're not able to fill fast enough, your ultimate pressurized tubes are going to be more than enough to handle the, not pressurized tubes, your mechanical pipes are fast enough to handle the water output. But if you can't get enough water into your reactor, pipe from this side and then pipe from this side. Make sense? So if we do like this, this, and this, you'll see what I'm meaning here. it just makes it so that you can pipe water, because each side can output at, I think it's like 64 buckets a tick or something like that. I'm not 100%. But anyway, this is just to demonstrate. We do not need this much water for this setup unless we were going to not use a turbine. Because you don't necessarily have to use a turbine for this. We could put our fissile fuel and just kick this on, boop, and it would work perfectly fine. Oh, we need another port, actually, because we need fuel input, and then... That's coolant. Oh, I see. They want you to route the coolant all through one port. Yeah, we need another port for fuel input. Let's get another port. So you need to be able to get the fissile fuel in here somewhere, which we'll just do right at the top. That's fine. Because their setup is you get the turbine, you fill this with water, and then you could route your pipes over to the coolant input, and then it'll end up being a closed loop system from your turbine, so you don't have to worry about it. But in our case, I have everything like left side, right side set up. Make sense? Reactor port. So then let's go ahead and put this here. And there. Let's get a quantum entangloporter for our fissile fuel. And then while we're at it, let's get a radioactive waste barrel. Now, one thing with radioactive waste from Mechanism, it is extremely important to remember. You cannot break these. Do not break your radioactive waste barrels. They will irradiate your entire, all these chunks in this area, and it is dangerous and it is bad. So do not irradiate your area. Even the pipes, we're going to set up pressurized tubes, and we don't necessarily need to have the best pressurized tubes, because if you look at that, it's a 16 million millibucket capacity per tube that is hooked up. So that is 16,000 buckets or something like that. I think so. 16,000 buckets inside of this, each tube. If you want to have a buffer system, having ultimate pressurized tubes set up is the way to go. So now, not only do we have this radioactive waste barrel, we have this pressurized tube that is going to be our buffer for our nuclear waste. From here, it's probably best to use the smaller cables to run to wherever we need to go. That way we're not, our nuclear waste isn't sitting in these pipes, just sitting there and not being processed or used. We have an eclipse going on, which means horologium would be in the sky if I would have discovered it before. But I didn't. Can we sleep through an eclipse? Is that a thing? There's no mobs are going to start showing up, and it's annoying. Anyway, quantum entangloporter can go here. Yes, you're set to an input. And then you... Let me... Okay, so now the back. Turn everything off. Yeah, see? Mobs coming in. Real annoying. Why do eclipses have to exist, huh? Okay, so then gases, we're going to have output on the back. And this is going to be on our fissile fuel channel. So this should start filling up with fissile fuel. In theory. In theory. Why are you not filling up? Gases, output on the back, auto eject on. I thought I had hit auto eject. There we go. And it's filling up with fissile fuel. So theoretically, we could hit activate and it would run. It's going to generate steam and get very hot and probably blow up fairly quick. But we could turn it on if we really wanted to. But we're not going to, because next episode we are going to create our turbine. And then from there, we will be able to turn on our fission reactor. And then once we get set up with the fission reactor, we'll start processing our fuel and we'll be able to get into fusion reactors. fusion reactor is really cool. However, it does require polonium to be processed in order to get to fusion. So you have to go through a fission reactor and get this set up before you can set up a fusion reactor. Make sense? Now, the only other thing the polonium is used for is going to be mechanism armor and stuff. So, like, these are for the SPS, the super critical phase shifter. Yes, I believe that's correct. To create antimatter and things like that, but it's for your higher end mechanism gear. And the mech suit, which we're not really going to be building. We don't need the mech suit. We have the Enigmatica suit and everything. So for the most part, none of this stuff is really useful to us outside of that. So for now, all of our polonium processing is going to be going towards making the fusion reactor, which requires, I think, like 16 of these. So something like that. Anyway, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Take it easy.